Hello, Kelly.
Hey, Joey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Hey, so why are you so much hotter in person?
I actually thought you were going to be one of the people on the Elvis Duran show because I did Elvis's show this morning.
Yeah. No, I'm over in El Paso.
I didn't see you, so I just thought it would be really funny.
Yeah.
Put her back.
Congratulations. I heard you're on a bestseller list now.
I am. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm stoked about that.
You're quite a bit busy because you got the book out and then you have, of course, Kell on Earth on Bravo, right?
Yeah, and I'm shooting The City right now for MTV, which is coming back up on April.
That's right. Talk to us about the book first. What's the general direction of the book? Is it an autobiography?
Yes and no. I mean, it's some life experience and some stories of my life, which kind of really take the reader, the kids, through the fact that I'm like walking the walk, not just talking the talk. So, I mean, it talks about when I was homeless in New York and then traveling around the world with rock bands and gang loaded and then becoming a tarot card reader. I mean, there's some really wild, crazy turns, which illustrate each of these different chapters, like warrior to warrior. And it's not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough, where I kind of tie it all together and use that as like a life primer for kids who want to follow their intuition or not be programmed and do the right thing, because I'm not into people doing the right thing. I think they need to do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's really the book. I mean, the whole thing is, you know, if you're between the ages of 15 and 35, you should follow your dreams. And, you know, if you want to do something and there are people in your community, your parents or your friends who are like, that'll never happen for you, you know, people like us, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I mean, you should consider them a partner in a crime against you and move away from them as quick as possible.
Okay, so it's described as a guide to discover who we are, what we really want, how to get it. Did you get what you wanted? What did you want?
The real, you know, it's a youth primer, so you don't have to wait till you're 45 and 50 to wake up and go buy some self-help book. Mm-hmm. You know, it's going to be like, hey, you're divorced, you know, you're an alcoholic, oh, your house has been foreclosed on. Now figure out who you are. No.
Yeah. So is this one of your quotes? Breakdown is really a breakthrough. Can you elaborate on that?
One time I was driving with my husband, and I mean, I think that, you know, if anyone's going to be an honest human being, there are times when things aren't going so well in our life, or we feel like things are just over, or we're losing it, and we can't take it anymore, and it might be for a minute, it might be for an hour, it might be for a week, a year, a month, and I was just in one of those places, and I was in the back seat. I think I'd probably been fired from a job or something, and I was crying hysterically, and I was like, I feel like I'm losing my mind. And he was like, babe.
Yeah.
You know, I'm having a breakdown. He's like, you're having a breakthrough. And I just thought, you know what, that is the coolest thing ever.
The weight off your shoulders.
And a lot of times when we feel like we're having a breakdown and we look back in those times afterward and we see that there were huge transformational times that were leading us to something much better than we could have ever anticipated. You know, but sometimes change and things that are great for us don't always come on a silver platter with people in togas feeding you grapes. I mean, sometimes they come with a little bit of pain and some humility, and, you know, you need to have a willingness to change and kind of see yourself around that corner, right?
Yeah. Let's switch gears for a second. Your agency broke the record for most shows produced on one day during New York Fashion Week. Of course, we're talking about this because you were the only person willing to produce shows on the first anniversary of September 11th, the attacks, right?
Anniversary in New York City of the World Trade disaster. Yeah, people were very superstitious, and you know, it thought that should be a day of mourning. You know, and I thought, you know, my industry, meaning the fashion industry, had already lost so much as a result of that attack, because that attack happened in the middle of New York Fashion Week, and I believe that it was our job to bring beauty and business back into the city, and not sit scared in our house and mourning and sad that, you know, life needs to move on, just the way that it goes. I'm not saying, you know, I lived 8 blocks from the Trade Center. It was a horrible thing. I found out I was pregnant September 10th, 2001 at midnight, just 8 or 9 hours, you know, before that happened. But, you know, I mean, we're called the People's Revolution, you know?
Yeah.
We do, and we kept the Fashion Week going, and we made those shows happen.
I thought this was an interesting question. I got it on my Twitter from Eswit. It says, was there a deeper meaning behind your working on the anniversary, or was it truly for fashion? It says here, was she just seizing the opportunity? Either way, well-behaved women rarely make history.
Well, it wasn't seizing the opportunity. I mean, I wasn't trying to break the record. Because the tents were open, we thought, why don't we just do 5 shows there to keep the power there for the city and for the fashion community and for the designers themselves? Yeah. I mean, all the designers were coming a year out of the gate scared, you know, like, oh, God, are we supposed to take... We're like farmers, you know, we couldn't take another bad crop, you know. Mm-hmm. The World Trade Center, it ruined Fashion Week. Everybody had to cancel their shows, and everybody that was here from around the world all lost money. And I mean, listen, it was a horrible thing. I'm not saying that we should have done Fashion Week. I don't want to be misunderstood on that. It was a huge disaster. And then the next season, everybody was trying to recover from the financial loss of not being able to show and not having media coverage. So here we were now, and what were we supposed to do? Not go to work. Everybody else, within a couple of weeks, in New York was back at work. So this for us was work. And so we thought, okay, let's really build these shows. I did it with Ferd Malice at IMG, and let's really put them there and do them all back to back, which was incredibly hard work to do 5 shows in over a 4 6-hour period. It's like unheard of.
Yeah.
So it was fun, though. It was crazy.
Okay. So now I imagine that you were a fan. What are your thoughts on McQueen's passing?
Yeah, I think it's really sad that young people are killing themselves. It's an epidemic right now. Brittany Murphy, who's a good friend of mine, is dead. Casey Johnson's dead. My friend Wendell hung himself. This is like something, I'm 44 years old, and, I think it's really, really sad when people feel so out of touch and so depressed that they choose death as a way of handling that pain. It's totally sad. Lee, Alexander McQueen's name was Lee, his real name, and he's a super cool, badass rock and roll designer. We're in the same tribe.
Yeah.
And I use his clothes already.
All right. So on a lighter note, everyone was asking me to forward you their resume, so people want to work for you, right?
That's pretty much. I could be like a new HR.
Yeah. So on one of the episodes of Kell on Earth, you guys let go of this girl because she was, tweeting on her Twitter everything that was going on play by play. So confidentiality plays a big part in your industry, right?
Sure. We deal with very sensitive topics. We represent everybody from Ben & Jerry's and Planned Parenthood to fashion designers. What they're making for their collections, who they're dressing, what celebrities are here, who's wearing what the clothes look like, what's going on inside. This is all like very, confidential information.
Yeah.
And, we understand that it's exciting to work at a place like People's Revolution, but if you cannot contain yourself and you cannot handle yourself with social media and with your tongue, then you probably shouldn't be in PR.
Yeah, I actually tried to pull a fast one on jury duty, and I was tweeting from jury duty, but it didn't work for me.
Yeah, it probably doesn't work. I wouldn't think so. Did you get busted?
No, actually, they didn't give me crap about it at all. What do you look for when you're hiring new staff?
For me, I tend to look. I